Tic-Tac and Leonor Valenzuela. Segunda Tic-Tac was her puppy love. Unfortunately, his first love was engaged to be married to a town-mate Manuel Luz. After his admiration for a short girl in the person of Segunda, then came Leonor Valenzuela, a tall girl from Pagsanjan. Rizal sent her love notes written in invisible ink that could only be deciphered over the warmth of a lamp or candle. He visited her on the eve of his departure to Spain and bade her a last goodbye. Leonor Rivera. Leonor Rivera, his sweetheart, for 11 years, played the greatest influence in keeping him from falling in love with other women during his travel. Unfortunately, Leonor's mother disapproved of her daughter's relationship with Rizal, who was then a known filibustero. She hid from Leonor all letters sent to her sweetheart. Leonor, believing that Rizal had already forgotten her, sadly consented her to marry the Englishman Henry Kipping, her mother's choice. Consuelo Ortega. Consuelo Ortega Guayre, the prettier of Don Pablo Ortega's daughters, fell in love with him. He dedicated to her A la Senorita Coyr, which became one of his best poems. The Ortega's residence in Madrid was frequented by Rizal and his compatriots. He probably fell in love with her, and Consuelo apparently asked him for romantic verses. He suddenly backed out before the relationship turned into a serious romance, because he wanted to remain loyal to Leonor Rivera and he did not want to destroy his friendship with Eduardo Deli, who was madly in love with Consuelo. Osi-san. Osi-san, a Japanese samurai's daughter, taught Rizal the Japanese art of painting known as sumi. She also helped Rizal improve his knowledge of Japanese language. If Rizal was a man without a patriotic mission, he would have married this lovely, unintelligent woman and lived a stable and happy life with her in Japan, because Spanish legation there offered him a lucrative job. Gertrude Beckett. While Rizal was in London annotating the Sucesos de las Islas Filipinas, he boarded in the house of the Beckett family within walking distance of the British Museum. Gertrude, a blue-eyed and buxom girl, was the oldest of the 3 Beckett daughters. She fell in love with Rizal. Toddy helped him in his painting and sculpture. But Rizal suddenly left London for Paris to avoid Gertrude, who was seriously in love with him. Before leaving London, he was able to finish the group carving of the Beckett sisters. He gave the group carving to Gertrude as a sign of their brief relationship. Nellie Valstead. Rizal, having lost Leonor Rivera, entertained the thought of courting other ladies. While a guest of the Valstead family at their residence in the resort city of Biarritz, he had befriended the 2 pretty daughters of his host, Eduardo Valstead. Rizal used to fence with the sisters at the studio of Juan Luna. Antonio Luna, Juan's brother and also a frequent visitor of the Valsteads, courted Nellie, but she was deeply infatuated with Rizal. In a party held by Filipinos in Madrid, a drunken Antonio Luna uttered unsavory remarks against Nellie Valstead. This prompted Rizal to challenge Luna into a duel. Fortunately, Luna apologized to Rizal, thus averting tragedy for the compatriots. Their love affair unfortunately did not end in marriage. It failed because Rizal refused to be converted to the Protestant faith, as Nellie demanded, and Nellie's mother did not like a physician without enough paying clientele to be a son-in-law. The lovers, however, parted as good friends when Rizal left Europe. Suzanne Jacobi. In 1890, Rizal moved to Brussels because of the high cost of living in Paris. In Brussels, he lived in the boarding house of the 2 Jacobi sisters. In time, they fell deeply in love with each other. Suzanne cried when Rizal left Brussels and wrote him when he was in Madrid. Josephine Bracken. In the last days of February 1895, while still in Dapperton, Rizal met an 18-year-old petite Irish girl with bold blue eyes, brown hair and a happy disposition. She was Josephine Bracken, the adopted daughter of George Toffer from Hong Kong, who came to Dapperton to seek Rizal for eye treatment. Rizal was physically attracted to her. His loneliness and boredom must have taken the measure of him, and what could be a better diversion than to fall in love again. But the Rizal sisters suspected Josephine as an agent of the friars, and they considered her as a threat to Rizal's security. Rizal asked Josephine to marry him, but she was not yet ready to make a decision due to her responsibility to the blind Topher. Since Topher's blindness was untreatable, he left for Hong Kong on March 1895. Josephine stayed with Rizal's family in Manila. Upon her return to Dapitan, Rizal tried to arrange with Father Antonio Haha for their marriage. However, the priest wanted a retraction as a precondition before marrying them. Rizal, upon the advice of his family and friends and with Josephine's consent, took her as his wife, even without the church blessings. Josephine later gave birth prematurely to a stillborn baby, a result of some incidents which might have shocked or frightened her.